Imagine sitting in a theater. The lights dim and the credits appear over an establishing seacoast town in Maine. Once the credits disappear, you see a long shot of an abandoned cabin in the woods. Then a medium shot of a crazed old man pouring gasoline on the grass near the house and striking a match. The grass catches fire and the man flees. The vivid crackling of the fire dissolves into the sound of a young girl's laughter as she frolics about the house with her younger brother. That scene involves several people: the director, a producer, a screenwriter, actors, the light designers, sound editors, and finally, a film editor. The actor who played the old man was likely filmed in Hollywood, the young girl on a different set in Hollywood. The seaside town was filmed off of the coast of California, not Maine. The crackling fire and girls' laughter was recorded in a studio. When you see the finished scene, all the sounds and images work together. They appear to be in the same place at the same time. That is the magic of film editing. Film editing is a key role in creating a magnificent production, but because it is overlooked by so many people, I'm here to explain to you just how critical editing is in the success of any video, whether it's homemade or a feature film. As someone who edits film and videos for family and friends, I have taken classes on video editing, I read articles and blogs about it, I use an advanced editing program myself, and ultimately I want to be a film editor. I think I'm a very good candidate to stress the importance of film editing. I'm going to discuss the importance of editing, the post-production process, and the programs that the film editors use. Let's begin by understanding exactly what film editing is. I gathered this information from filmproduction.com. It's a site that lets you put articles of interest out and just kind of lets people read them. Editing involves manipulating and rearranging videos to create something new. I asked some of my classmates if they ever take the time to actually appreciate and look at the editing of a film, and most of them said that they don't really do that. They just kind of watch the film, and they know a lot of people are required in making one, but they don't really look at the editing aspect of it. The main goals editors try to accomplish is they have to remove the unwanted footage. They pick the scenes that they're going to use. They have to make it flow. They use a lot of color corrections, which involves a green screen, which is what I'm standing in front of, and a lot of people know what green screen is. It kind of allows you to change the background from something else, so I could make it like a different color, kind of like this. Or I could put myself in a different scene completely. I could put myself in a city like this. So it just kind of depends on what the director of the movie wants. You use effects, transitions, music, and so on. Another question I asked the kids in my class was if they actually know how long it takes to edit a film, and most of them kind of said 1 to 2 years, or a couple weeks, 3 months. It was kind of just a wide variety, which it kind of is true, because film editing, it does kind of depend on a couple different factors, as in how many editors you have working on the film, if the director's picky, if they're not picky, if there's a release date for the film, so it kind of depends, but it generally takes about 3 months to a year to edit a film. So after understanding a few basic editing techniques, let's move on to some final and critical parts of editing. We're going to talk about the post-production process, which is where editing happens in film. And I got this information from degreedirectory.org. It just kind of lets you go through different degrees and read things that are interesting to you and see if you would like to do that as a job. Editors look at frames, and so to be a little more specific on that, 1 second has 24 frames. So when you're editing a 2-hour movie, you're using roughly about 170,000 frames. And so it takes a couple days, weeks, months, years to go through and actually pick out every single frame that you want to use for the film. You start with a rough cut, which is where the editor sits there, they go through everything, and they pick it. Then comes the director's cut, where the director comes in, they sit down with the editor, decide what they like about it, what they don't like, what the editor has to fix. And then there is the final cut, which the producer, director, the movie studio, they all review it, put the final touches on it, and then send it off to the theaters. Now that we understand the basic competencies of editing, let's explore the programs used to make editing possible. The three main editing programs are Adobe Premiere Pro, which you might have seen in Avatar, The Social Network, Final Cut Pro, which is strictly a Mac program, and you might have seen it in X-Men Wolverine, or The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, or Avid Pro, which kind of was created to compete with Final Cut Pro. It's a little bit cheaper and more simplistic, and you might have seen that with The Dark Knight or James Bond, Die Another Day. So I'm just going to kind of step off to the side here, and we're going to put up a couple different shots of the editing program so you can kind of see what the editor's actually using and what they look like. We're going to start with Adobe. So off to the far right there is their sequence box, which kind of lets them put scenes together and then just store it in that box over there. Right close to us here is the preview box. That's where you can actually see what you're editing. You get to watch what you've done, kind of tweak it from there. It just kind of helps you. And then on the bottom, here's the timeline that lets you, that's where all the editing actually takes place. You put all your clips and effects and transitions into that timeline. The next one here is Final Cut Pro, and it's kind of the same concept. Timeline's right here on the bottom, preview box up top. And then off to the far right on the bottom over there, that is the media library, where it has all your clips, edits, effects, transitions. It has all of that stored right in there for you. This final one is Avid Pro, and it has the timeline right there on the bottom again. The preview box is on the far right on this one, and the media library is right here close to us. So they're all pretty similar, but they're a little different, and some of them are a little easier to use, some of them are more difficult. It just kind of depends on what company you're working at. So let's recap on what we have discussed today. Film editing plays a very important role in the creation of a production, whether it's big or small. We now understand the goals and tasks editors do daily, the different processes they go through before the final cut is approved, and the different editing programs they use. Though film editing is constantly overlooked, I hope you now understand the importance and significance it has over the production of a film. After all, film editing is secretly everyone's favorite part of a movie. I mean, wouldn't we all like to edit our own lives? Take out the bad parts, the scary parts, and just focus on the really good parts?